The Buffalo Bills have shown that they are one of the most complete teams in all of football, and the LA Rams are having to answer a lot of questions about what their season is about to look like. Hey everyone, Taha here. Just super happy to have the NFL back, happy to have football back. I know last night the season opener wasn't the most exciting game or the most intense, tight game that maybe a lot of us were hoping for, but in general, just happy to have football back and just wanted to share a few thoughts on what the NFL season opener looked like. I wanted to first talk about the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen continues to show why he is one of the best quarterbacks, if not all one of the best players in the entire NFL. What I took away from his game last night was that as great of a deep ball passer as he is, as great of a rusher as he is, I was really impressed with how he just took what the defense gave him. I think a lot of us are just so used to Josh Allen forcing the deep ball, throwing the ball deep to get that big play, stiff arming someone to make that big play. But I was really impressed with how, especially in the beginning of the game, he was just taking what the defense was giving him. I don't know if I've seen so many successive short passes, all these 10 to 20-yard passes, all like multiple in a row, just taking what the defense gave him. The Rams started off with, really backing up so that they wouldn't give up those deep plays. And Josh Allen was just ready to settle for those short passes that I don't think I was used to seeing him take those short passes before. So it was cool to see how he was just ready to take what the defense was giving him. And it just makes it harder to defend him because the moment, just when the Rams started seeing that he was just taking those short passes, and then the moment they start to move a little bit forward to try to defend against those short passes, next thing you know, he's throwing that deep ball to really kill you over the top. So it's just another level to his game that he's showing that he's elevating his game, getting better and better by the season. And I'm just super excited to see how he is going to continue to elevate this Bills offense. Offensively, they were not perfect. They really could have beaten the Rams. They beat them by 21. They really could have beaten them by like 30 or maybe like even 35 or something. A couple miscues in the first half that led to some unfortunate interceptions. It's not like Josh Allen played perfect, but if they were able to dominate the Rams in this fashion with those miscues, with those mistakes, just imagine what this team is going to look like when they get a hold of themselves, when they don't make some of those mistakes, right? And I think it's just a warning to the entire league for what this team is going to look like for the remainder of the season. They kind of dictated how the Rams were going to play them. Take someone like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was pretty much neutralized for the entire game. Why? Because Josh Allen was getting the ball out of his hands at a super fast rate. So it didn't give Donald an opportunity to really apply that pressure. I know part of it is like, the Rams pass rush having gone down a little bit, but you also have to give credit to Josh Allen and the Bills offense for not giving them an opportunity to even apply that pressure. So Josh Allen, I think he continues to elevate his receivers. Gabe Davis had a great showing. Stephon Diggs continues to show he's a top 5 receiver. I was impressed with how many short passes and the rushing game, especially of the Rams. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss getting these rushes that I was not really expecting them to get. Josh Allen was still the leading rusher, which is still interesting to see. But it's a multifaceted offense. It's not as one-dimensional as some people might think. And one very impressive thing about this game for the Bills, defensively, they did all this without Tre'Davious White, right? Tre'Davious White's still not back from his injury. They had a bunch of young corners filling in and starting roles, and they were going to need help, and boy, did they get help. Von Miller, man, what a debut for the Bills, The Bills, they don't have too many star guys, especially defensively, right? There's not many guys that just scream out star. But Von Miller came in and showed up and really showed that he was a star, right? The Bills pressure rate on Matt Stafford was crazy. Von Miller with 2 sacks, Jordan Phillips looking like he's a prime D tackle. AJ Epineza getting a sack, Gregory Rousseau getting a sack, and almost getting an interception as well. The pressure rate was crazy from the Bills. Now, a lot of that might be also talking about how bad the Rams offensive line is, which we'll talk about later. But it's just cool to see how much pressure the Bills D line was able to get on an opposing quarterback like Matt Stafford. And if they're gonna continue applying pressure like that, I don't know how you deal with them defense. I don't know how you as an offense deal with the Bills defensively without Tre'Davious White still in the lineup. So amazing showing for Von Miller, especially really noticeable. Just I'm excited to see how the remainder of the season shows up for these Bills. The Rams offensively, I think offensively they definitely struggled, and I think you can tell. Almost a non-existent run game, because how can they when their offensive line has deteriorated this much? With Andrew Whitworth retiring, with several key offensive linemen leaving in the offseason, I don't how do you make up for that? How do you make up for those holes that you clearly have in talent in your offensive line? Their left tackle by himself, there were stats that showed that he gave up 3 sacks and allowed 10 pressures just by himself. Matt Stafford barely had time to throw the ball. The run game was non-existent. When you don't have a run game and you're forcing your quarterback coming off an lingering elbow injury to throw the ball as many times as Matt Stafford was forced to, you're bound to make mistakes. That's a reason why you end up with 3 interceptions to end this game, like Matt Stafford did. I don't know how they addressed the offensive line issues. I think it was made painfully aware that this is going to be a problem for them throughout the entire season, but they had to figure it out. I don't think you have to give some of the blame to Matt Stafford. Cool that he's feeding Cooper Kupp. Cool. Like he had ended up with 10 receptions, 86 yards, a touchdown. Cool. But what about Allen Robinson? Why aren't you feeding him the ball? He was open several times, but dude is not getting the ball. Matt Stafford did not seem to be looking his way at all, right? Matt Stafford, at least 1 or 2 of his interceptions, they were just horrible throws. You can't blame all of it on the offensive line. Stafford had to have thrown the ball better on some of those passes. Stafford definitely has to take some of the blame for the loss tonight, because he played poorly. Some of it is on his offensive line, but he had to make better decisions. He had to spread the ball a little bit better. It can't all be funneled towards Cooper Kupp. As amazing of a receiver as it is, you can't be that one-dimensional. You just can't. Otherwise, it becomes very easy for a defense to just apply pressure on you if they know where you're looking, what you're going to do. So I would hope that he can utilize someone like Allen Robinson a little bit better. I know Van Jefferson's out with an injury right now, but they just have to spread the ball a little bit better. They just have to, right? Offensive line definitely does have to get better. Cooper Kupp is gonna be the same. Let's switch defensively real quick before we end this video. Defensively, I think it was clear that the Rams have regressed defensively as well. I kind of predicted it a little bit with Von Miller leaving, with their cornerback 2 leaving. I know they brought in Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner looked okay. He looked a little bit he definitely looked older in last night's game. Jalen Ramsey, I don't know what's going on with him. The slump that he has had since the Rams game last year. I mean, it just seems like nobody's afraid to throw a deep ball on him anymore. Stats today showed that Jalen Ramsey allowed a perfect passer rating today for Josh Allen. He allowed 6 catches for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. What's going on? I mean, Jalen Ramsey, I know I'm not saying that he's not a top corner in the league anymore, but he has just not been looking good for the past, going back to last playoffs. He has not looked like the best version of himself. So I don't know what's going on with him. He definitely has to get a little bit better for this Rams defense to have a chance. Aaron Donald is still going to be him, but without the presence of Von Miller, one could see, many people, in my opinion, can see how the Rams pass rush has definitely regressed. It was just a domino effect. If the Rams can't apply pressure to a quarterback and their secondary is struggling a little bit, they have to get better in order to have a chance this season. I'm not saying that the Rams, we can immediately call that the Rams are bust this season. I'm not saying that. But the Rams definitely can't be happy after last night. They can't be comfortable. something definitely has to change. There have to be improvements that need to be made. They had some key plays. They had some nice interceptions. I know they had some takeaways. They weren't completely non-existent, but one can't leave this game and say that, oh yeah, the Rams look good defensively, because we all know that they could be doing better if they want to have a chance. So that's what I took away from last night's game. Just super happy once again for NFL to be back. Going to be trying my best to share my thoughts on multiple games, multiple key moments throughout the remainder of the season. So let me know what you think. I would always appreciate any feedback, some comments, any thoughts that you have. So please just let me know. I really appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Thank you.